Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever noticed how some people only show up to drain your energy? They poke at you, insult you, try to provoke you, start drama, play the victim, or act like they are better than you, all because they want one thing: attention. Attention is fuel for some people. It feeds their ego. It makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel relevant. But the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop giving them the show they want, everything changes. They can't stand being ignored. They can't stand that their words don't pull you down. They can't stand that you don't respond. Your silence is the one thing they never expected, and it's the one thing they can't control. They wanted attention, but they got ignored instead. And that destroys them more than any argument ever could. This video is for you if you're tired of people trying to get reactions out of you. This is for the ones who are done being manipulated, guilt-tripped, or dragged into drama. Today we're breaking the cycle. We're taking your power back. The Stoics knew the secret behind emotional control. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That means nobody controls you unless you hand them the control. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is self-respect. When someone wants attention and you give them nothing, that is the highest form of power you can hold over them. This video will show you how ignoring the wrong people protects your energy, builds confidence, and exposes who they really are. Before we begin, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. I don't react. I don't chase. I stay in control. Now let's break down exactly why ignoring them destroys their ego and rebuilds your confidence. Number 1. When you ignore them, you take away their power. People who provoke you aren't looking for peace. They're looking for a reaction. They want to see you angry. They want to see you explain yourself. They want to see you defend yourself. That reaction gives them control. That reaction gives them satisfaction. That reaction tells them they can push your buttons anytime they want. But when you ignore them, when you stay quiet, calm, unbothered, you take all of that power away. The Stoics believed that every reaction has a price. Seneca said, "A wise man is never surprised," meaning nothing someone does should shake you or throw you off. When someone tries to anger you and you stay silent, they lose their victory. When someone talks bad about you and you don't respond, they don't get the effect they wanted. You become unpredictable. You become someone they can't manipulate. You become someone they can't control emotionally. And that drives them crazy. Ignoring someone is not about being petty. It is about refusing to participate in something beneath you. It is choosing dignity over arguments. It is choosing peace over drama. It is choosing strength over insecurity. The person who can ignore disrespect is stronger than the person who needs to respond to it, because silence is confidence. Silence says, "What you said doesn't matter enough for me to react." Silence says, "I know my worth and you can't shake it." Silence says, "You don't control my emotions anymore." When you ignore someone who wanted attention, they start questioning themselves. They start wondering why you don't care. They lose the grip they thought they had over you, and that's when they realize you're not the same person they once controlled. Number 2. Ignoring them exposes their true character without you saying a word. When someone wants attention and you ignore them, you force their true personality to show. People reveal who they really are when they can't control you anymore. The moment you stop giving reactions, they start scrambling for a new way to get to you. Some will try harder, some will talk louder, some will gossip, some will pretend they don't care, Some will get angry, some will suddenly act friendly. All of it is a performance designed to pull you back into their game. But you stay silent, you stay calm, you stay untouchable. That is when their mask falls. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that you cannot judge a person by their words, but by their actions. When you ignore someone, their actions become clear. If they were using you for attention, they'll move to someone else. If they were fueled by drama, they'll look for another victim. If they were trying to gaslight, guilt trip, or control you, they'll suddenly have nothing to work with. They will reveal how childish, insecure, and powerless they really are. Ignoring someone doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. You stop feeding their ego, and you start observing their behavior from a distance. And what you see will teach you more than any argument ever could. You will see who respects you without needing attention. You will see who only liked you when you reacted. You will see who disappears when they can't manipulate you. And the best part, you never had to raise your voice. You never had to explain yourself. You never had to defend your name. Your silence told the story. Sometimes you don't need to punish someone. You just let them live without access to you. That is enough. People show their true loyalty when you stop serving their needs. People show their true intentions when you stop playing along. Ignoring them is not shutting down. It is leveling up. It says, I'm done wasting energy on people who don't deserve it. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence shows everything. Number 3, ignoring them makes them realize you were the value, not them. People who crave attention often believe they are the prize. They think they matter more than everyone else. They expect others to chase, beg, apologize, explain, defend, or fix everything. But the moment you ignore them, you flip the power. Now they're the ones wondering. They're the ones thinking. They're the ones questioning themselves. Suddenly they see that the connection only lived because you kept it alive. They realize the calls were yours, the conversations were yours, the effort was yours, the support was yours. When you ignore them, they face a truth they never expected. Without you, nothing moves. The Stoics believed that value comes from what you give, not what you demand. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one you are giving loyalty, understanding, kindness, time, and patience." That was the real value, all from you. When you walk away silently, they feel a sudden emptiness. The attention they used to get from you is gone. The validation you gave is gone. The emotional reaction they fed on is gone. They feel the loss, not because you said anything, but because you became unavailable. That is emotional power. People take kindness for granted until it disappears. People take support for granted until it stops. People think you will always be there until one day you're not. Ignoring someone forces them to realize that they were never the strong one. You were. You were the comfort. You were the stability. You were the one who cared. And now they are left chasing the memory of the attention they once took advantage of. But here is the most powerful part. By ignoring them, you don't just take back power. You rebuild your dignity. You choose self-respect over disrespect. You choose peace over chaos. You choose growth over emotional battles. They wanted attention. They wanted control. They wanted power. But they got ignored instead, and that is the one outcome they never prepared for. Number 4, ignoring them cuts off their ego's oxygen and forces them to face themselves. People who thrive on attention cannot survive without it. Their ego depends on reactions the same way fire depends on oxygen. The more you respond, the bigger the flame grows. The more you defend yourself, the stronger their control becomes. But when you go silent, when you stop feeding their ego, the fire dies, their power shrinks, their confidence cracks, their attitude collapses. They expected you to argue back, to fight for understanding, to beg for their approval. Instead, you gave them nothing, and nothing is the one thing their ego cannot handle. The Stoics said that true control is mastering your response. Epictetus taught that no one can harm you unless you permit them. When you ignore someone, you stop permitting their ego to live off your attention. Their loud behavior, their insults, their games suddenly have no effect. They are talking to a wall. They are shouting into empty space. Their tricks stop working. That is why ignoring someone hurts them far more than arguing. When you don't react, they are forced to face the truth they avoided. They are not as important as they imagined. They realize you don't need them. You don't seek approval. You don't give them space in your mind. And that destroys the illusion of control they once had. Ignoring someone forces them to sit alone with their thoughts. They start questioning themselves, replaying every moment, wondering why you no longer respond. Their ego expected to win. Their ego expected attention. Their ego expected you to break. But when you stay silent, they break instead. You become unpredictable, mysterious, powerful. And nothing is scarier to someone with a fragile ego than losing control over a situation they thought they owned. Silence tells them that you have reached a level they cannot reach. You are calm. You are unmoved. You are confident. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to explain your worth. Ignoring someone is not cruelty. It is self-defense. It is you choosing to protect your energy from people who drain it. It is you choosing dignity over disrespect. It is you choosing peace over ego battles. They wanted attention, but you gave them silence, and silence is where their ego suffocates. Number 5. Silence makes you the one in control, not them. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. When you stop reacting, you take the steering wheel away from them. People who play for attention want to pull emotions out of you. They want you to yell, cry, defend yourself, explain yourself, or chase after them. Because the moment you react, they win. You hand over your power. You hand over your peace. But when you stay quiet, when you don't answer the call for drama, suddenly they are the one without control. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Silence is bravery because it shows that you don't fear losing someone who doesn't respect your value. You are not desperate. You are not dependent. You are not controlled. Instead of fighting to be heard, you let your absence speak louder than any argument. They didn't expect that. They expected you to be emotional. They expected you to lose control. They expected you to prove something. But silence proves something far stronger. You don't need them. When you ignore games, manipulation, disrespect, or attention-seeking behavior, you protect your mind from chaos. You train your emotions. You gain discipline. And discipline is the highest form of power. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control how someone acts, but you can control how you respond. Silence is the response that protects you and exposes them. When you stay silent, people start wondering what changed. They start thinking about what they did wrong. They replay conversations trying to understand where they lost access to you. And that is the moment when control shifts. You stop being the one who cared too much. You stop being the one who gave endless chances. You become the one who moved on. You become the one they can't read, can't predict, and can't manipulate. Silence shows maturity. Silence shows emotional power. Silence means you walked away with dignity instead of fighting for someone who never deserved your energy. They wanted attention. Instead, they got ignored. And deep down, they know that ignoring someone takes more strength than reacting. Silence is control. Silence is self-respect. Silence is the moment they realize they underestimated you. Number 6. Silence makes them see what they took for granted. When someone expects you to keep showing up, keep giving, keep forgiving, they stop appreciating you. People don't value what feels guaranteed. They don't respect what feels permanent. But silence breaks that illusion. When you withdraw your presence, your energy, your attention, your conversation, you become rare again. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, let people misunderstand your silence. Let them think you stopped caring. Let them assume you checked out. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. Your peace is bigger than their confusion. Silence gives them something they never wanted, time to think. And thinking hurts when a person knows they messed up. They replay how they treated you, the disrespect they ignored, the effort they never matched, the love they didn't return, the loyalty they didn't value. Suddenly the attention they expected disappears, and the quiet becomes louder than any message you could send. That's when realization hits. They remember your support. They remember your kindness. They remember your patience. They notice the difference between your presence and your absence. Silence opens space for clarity. It reveals intentions. If someone truly cares, they will come forward with effort, not excuses. But if they stay comfortable without you, then you know the truth. You didn't lose them. They lost you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." So instead of arguing, you get better. Instead of begging, you grow stronger. Instead of reacting, you upgrade your life. Nothing causes regret like seeing someone you once ignored become happier without you. Don't announce that you're done. Just be done. Stop checking their social media. Stop responding to meaningless messages. Stop giving energy to someone who never earned it. Your silence becomes a mirror they can't escape from, and that mirror shows them exactly what they threw away. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My absence will speak louder than my words. Number 7. Silence shows you, not them, are in control. Control is not about power over others. Control is power over yourself. When you stay silent, steady, calm, and unbothered, you show that your emotions are yours, not something someone else can trigger. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And silence is bravery because it means you don't need to defend, argue, or prove anything. When someone tries to provoke you, they want a reaction. They want to feel important. They want to know they still have space in your mind. Silence denies them that satisfaction. You teach them that they don't control your state, your heart, or your choices. Silence is discipline, and most people don't have it. Anyone can yell, anyone can argue, anyone can explode, but the one who stays quiet holds the real power. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. When you refuse to react, you stop letting their words dictate your mood. You stop wasting time on pointless arguments that go nowhere. You stop giving attention to people who want to see you break. You rise above the noise, and that is where strength lives. People always think they won when they made you mad. They always think they won when you lost your cool. But when you stay calm, collected, and silent, they notice something uncomfortable. You are not playing their game. You removed their control. You refuse to participate in their drama. Silence makes manipulators powerless. Silence makes liars nervous. Silence makes toxic people reveal themselves, because when they can no longer get a reaction, they expose how empty they really are. The next time someone tries to trigger you, pause, breathe, say nothing. Let them feel their own words bounce back empty. Don't post about it. Don't text paragraphs. Don't explain. Just detach. Their behavior becomes their mirror, and your silence becomes your proof of maturity. Epictetus said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." When you are silent, no one owns you, no one controls you, no one pulls your strings. Number 8, silence makes them face themselves. This is the part they never expect. At first, they think ignoring them is just a mood. They think you will come back, react, argue, explain, or try to fix things like you always did. But when silence becomes consistent, something powerful happens. They are forced to look at themselves. They are forced to see the truth of who they are without using you as a distraction. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you remove your presence, they are left alone with their own thoughts. And that is where the truth hits them. Your silence becomes a mirror they can't escape. They notice the emptiness in the space you used to fill. They notice the lack of attention, the lack of power, the lack of reaction. They realize they were fueled by your energy, not their own. And suddenly, they see who really needed who. Silence exposes the games, the manipulation, the disrespect, and the immaturity they tried to hide under arguments, excuses, and lies. Silence forces them to confront what they destroyed. Some people don't change until you stop giving them access to you. Some people don't respect you until you stop making yourself available. Some people don't feel your value until you remove your voice from their life. That is why silence is not just a reaction. Silence is a consequence. You are showing that you are done being drained, done being disrespected, done giving chances to people who don't deserve them. And the moment they realize they cannot provoke you, cannot guilt you, cannot drag you into chaos, they feel powerless. That's when regret hits. Not because they care, but because they lost control. Practice removal instead of reaction. When someone tries to drag you into drama, don't message back, don't explain, don't defend yourself. Just pull back your energy. The Stoics believed that no one can harm you without your permission. Remove that permission. Take back your emotional space. Take back your time. Take back your peace. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of wisdom, full of clarity, full of self-respect. When you stop speaking, stop arguing, and stop giving attention, people must live with what they caused. You don't have to teach them a lesson. Silence teaches for you. Remember this: ignoring someone who craves attention is not cruelty. It is power. Silence is the ultimate tool to protect your peace, control your emotions, and reclaim your energy. The Stoics taught that no one can disturb you unless you allow it, and your silence proves you will not allow it. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When you stay calm, composed, and non-reactive, you show strength that words could never match. You expose truth, reveal character, and force reflection without saying a single thing. People wanted attention, but you gave them silence instead. And in that silence, you reclaimed your dignity, your confidence, and your control. Walk away from drama. Walk away from manipulation. Walk away from people who don't respect your energy. Let your life, your calm, and your focus speak louder than arguments ever could. Your silence is your statement. Your absence is your power. Say this in the comments: I control my peace. I am unshakable. If this message resonates, hit subscribe, like, and share this video. Step into quiet strength, protect your energy, and let your silence change everything.